Why does hearing a certain theme song instantly take you back? Why does seeing an old cartoon intro make you emotional? That's nostalgia, and it's one of the most powerful tools in storytelling. Today we're diving into how nostalgia is used in movies, shows, games, and books, and why it hits us so hard. We'll talk about the psychology behind it, when it works perfectly, and when it kind of falls flat. Nostalgia in storytelling isn't just referencing the past, it's making you feel something about the past. It can come from many forms. A reboot like Cobra Kai, which brings back old characters and music. A retro style show like Stranger Things, packed with 80s aesthetics and Dungeons and Dragons. Or even a simple visual like grainy VHS filters, neon fonts, or 8-bit game music. Nostalgia says, hey, remember this? You felt something then, and you're feeling it again. And good storytelling knows how to use that to full emotional effect. Psychologists say nostalgia triggers parts of the brain linked to memory, safety, and emotions. When a story taps into those memories, even if they are fictional, it creates comfort. And here's the kicker, it doesn't have to be your memory. You don't need to have grown up in the 80s to love Stranger Things or the Goldbergs. The tone, music, and visuals suggest something familiar. Nostalgia makes the new feel safe, like we've been there before. It lowers our defenses. It makes us care faster. Let's talk about some stories that really got it right. Cobra Kai took the original Karate Kid characters and aged them just like we aged. That real time progression hit home. I agree with that. I love Karate Kid when I was a kid, and it the Karate Kid, the Cobra Kai brought back all the feels, seeing all those characters that we grew up with, like Johnny and Daniel. It was if Mr. Miyagi was alive and he was in it, it would have been even better. Stranger Things, synthwave music, VHS intros, walkie-talkies, all of it taps into collective memory, even for people who weren't alive in the 80s. Um, that that those visuals drove me to watch that show when it first came out. I loved all the 80s feel when it had the Ghostbuster backpack and all that stuff. I loved all of that. Toy Story 3, it literally said goodbye to our childhood that ended. This was nostalgia weaponized for maximum tears. I think Toy Story 3 was actually probably my favorite Toy Story, to tell you the truth. And Spider-Man No Way Home, Toby, Andrew, Tom. That movie was nostalgia, not as a crutch, but as a celebration. I totally agree. It was real cool to see, especially Toby Maguire, because I haven't seen Tobey Maguire in a movie in a while, and that was the first time seeing him in a movie, and to come back as Spider-Man um, was awesome. And I actually liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man too. A lot of people didn't like his Amazing Spider-Man, but I actually liked him. I thought he had great chemistry um, with the girl who played Gwen or whatever. I agree. No Way Home was a celebration of nostalgia, and I think that's what made that movie work a lot too, bringing back those characters from the past in a brand new movie and seeing them interact with the new Spider-Man. But let's be honest, nostalgia can also be lazy. Sometimes studios think that throwing in a few retro references, good storytelling, equals good storytelling. But without emotional depth or new ideas, it just feels hollow. Some examples: Space Jam: A New Legacy tried to shove every Warner's Brother IP into one movie. It felt more like a commercial than a story. I'm not a fan of Space Jam anyway. Um, I didn't like the first one, and I definitely didn't like the second one, especially with no Michael Jordan in it, even though Michael Jordan's a terrible actor. Um, it didn't work, and I don't think it even made a lot of money, the second Space Jam. The Mummy reboot, nostalgia for a franchise without the charm or tone that made the original fun. I totally agree with that. The Mummy with Tom Cruise was definitely not as good as the Mummy with Brendan Fraser. It was definitely trying to take you back to a time when the Mummy was good, because the first two Mummy movies were fantastic, and just Tom Cruise is not the type of guy that you would bring back for a franchise like that. They wanted to make it into a whole different thing too, a whole Mummy universe, and that didn't work because that movie didn't work. I don't think they could have brought back Brendan Fraser, but I don't know. The nostalgia on that movie just um, didn't work. In a world that moves fast and feels uncertain, nostalgia offers comfort. That's why it's everywhere, not just in big movies, but in indie games, fashion, TikTok trends, even YouTube. When done right, nostalgia connects generations. It brings us back while still moving the story forward. Um, I'm a big fan of nostalgia. I do a lot of videos on old video games and old cartoons and old movies. I like that stuff. Like I said, it brings back good memories of past situations and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of nostalgia. I know a lot of people love looking back. I try not to overdo it. Um, but when it's done right, it really does bring back all the good feelings that you had back in the day, or back when you saw that certain feature, like when they brought out the Transformers movie, the first Transformers movie. That shit felt like I was a kid again watching Transformers for the first time. I actually went to the theater a couple times to see that movie because it was so good seeing Optimus Prime in live, in live with humans or whatever in real live action. It was amazing seeing that for the first time. I thoroughly enjoy when movie theaters bring back old IP and it's done right. So nostalgia is good and sometimes, and it's excellent sometimes, and sometimes it's just not good at all. Like when they bring back um shit that shouldn't, like they keep doing the Smurfs thing. The Smurfs don't work. They got a new Smurfs movie come back. That I like the Smurfs as a kid, but it just doesn't work today. My final thoughts on this: nostalgia isn't just a trend; it's a storytelling tool. When writers and creators use it with intention, it can deepen emotional impact, connect people, and turn a good story into a timeless one. That's what I'm trying to do when I make these videos, especially when I talk about old stuff that I used to like growing up, whatever. Just tap into the good times. And in this world, sometimes you need a good laugh sometimes, or a good memory. So the next time you get emotional watching an old cartoon or hearing a movie theme from childhood, remember that's not just a memory, that's storytelling at work. If you love nostalgic deep dives like this, hit that like button, drop a comment. That's going to do it for my video. I truly appreciate you guys for giving me 10 minutes of your time. There's only 24 hours in the day. You gave me a couple minutes of your time, so I truly appreciate that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. Have a good one, and I will get at y'all on the next one later.